Hi, I'm Chelsey Lowe, and this is Feed the Beast, a podcast where I interview leaders and entrepreneurs in the food industry. I'm here today with Marian Dossou, the founder of KakeMi, the 90-second cake. All right. So we're going to play a quick game of this or that food edition. So you'll tell us, I'll give you two options, and you'll say which one you prefer, and you can give me a quick update about which one you want and why. So we'll get started. The first one is coffee or tea?
Tea, definitely tea.
Okay, why not coffee?
Coffee does funny things. I just didn't grow up on coffee, so
Got it.
Coffee.
Wine or beer?
Wine. Beer is an acquired taste, and I have not acquired that taste yet.
Got it. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate, always.
Got it. That one I feel like you don't even need explanation.
Chocolate.
Eat in or take out?
Eat in if it's a nice place. If there's a nice dining experience. Yeah.
Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles. I feel like they're just cooler than pancakes.
Got it. Salt or sugar?
Sugar. I'm a sweet girl.
And the final one, cake or ice cream?
Cake. Definitely cake. Cake and ice cream, they go together, but cake.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks for playing that warm-up game with me. So we'll get started.
Yes, thank you for having me, Chelsey.
Thanks for joining us. So can you tell us a little bit about your product and what you brought with us today?
Awesome. So my company is KakeMi LLC, and I produce a 90-second cake. So if you don't know what that is it's an all-inclusive dessert kit. It's cake mix, oil, icing, and sprinkles, and it comes with a little compostable, microwavable container. So you're able to make your own cake in 90 seconds by just adding water.
Great. So where did your love of food come from? Were you always a foodie or always interested in cooking or baking?
Baking, definitely baking, and then that turned into decorating. So I was always an artistic person. So I went to Kappa for the High School for Creative and Performing Arts here in Philly. And so I was a visual artist, and sometime in that visual arts experimentation of things, I discovered the love of decorating cakes. And so I took a few classes at Michael's to get the basics down, and then I just went off from there. And that kind of leads into the creation of my product, but I've always been a dessert lover.
So, and then were you always entrepreneurial, or did you grow up with parents who were entrepreneurial or had businesses or side hustles? Was that something you always knew you wanted to do as well?
That's so interesting because I don't think about it that much. My parents aren't entrepreneurs, but my grandfather, he had a regular job, but he was also a carpenter on the side. So there's that. And growing up, I always wanted, my parents will say, I always wanted to make money. I always wanted to make money. I just didn't know how to. And, it's easy to fall into the trap of, I'm just going to go to school. I'm going to do things by the books the way people say they're supposed to be. But I'm glad that I've broken free and I'm on the entrepreneurship pathway.
So what did you do before starting your business? Did you ever have a 9-to-5? What was after Kappa and studying arts? What did you do?
Yeah, so after Kappa, I wanted to go to culinary arts college, but my dad was like, no. And so I was just like, okay, I'll go to Penn State. I went for business. I graduated from Penn State and joined Teach for America. So I taught 8th grade mathematics for 2 years, taught GED for a year, and taught in China for a summer.
Oh, wow. Where did you do Teach for America?
I did Teach for America here in South Philly, actually, at Barrett Middle School. It no longer exists, but Barrett Middle School, it was a trying experience, but it was great.
Yeah, mixed reviews about TFA all the time.
Okay. But, it's good for building character, definitely, and building, just grit. Definitely grit.
Great plug.
And so after Teach for America, I didn't really know where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. All my background was education, so looking for a non-education job was really difficult. I landed a job with Urban Outfitters in the Navy Yard here. They're based in Philadelphia, on their marketing team. And through that experience, I was finally like, I need to go out on my own and do my own thing.
So what type of marketing were you doing for Urban Outfitters?
So I was a marketing temp, and I was just helping out with their social campaigns, their loyalty programs. And I still do it part-time a little bit to fund my true passion, which I've kind of developed. Because at first, when I knew I wanted to go out on my own, I did cake decorating decorating with a friend. She would make the cakes. I would decorate the cakes. We would sell the cakes. And it was great. But one day I was sitting on my couch and I wanted a piece of the cake I had just decorated for someone else. I was just like, I can't have a piece of it. So you have to make yourself your own cake. And I was just like, no, I'm not going to do all that work just for myself. And so the idea came to make a mug cake that was easier to make than those that are online and tasted much better than those online.
And so from there, you started the business.
So from there, I created the product. I got the recipe and I started sharing it with my sister and my friends. And they were like, okay, this could work. This could be something. And then it took probably like a half a year after that for me to be like, okay, I'm going to make a real run for this and start a business.
So what resources were helpful in that launching phase for your business? Did you go anywhere? How did you go from this product to actually having your business? What did you do?
Definitely. So it was actually like very divine inspiration type deal. I like the Free Library of Philadelphia. They're amazing. And they were having a program about like entrepreneurship, starting a business. So I went and they were saying we were going to start a boot camp, an entrepreneurship boot camp. You can join. And if you finish all the requirements for the class and do what we need you to do, we'll give you a small grant to start your business. So I was just like, free money? Yes, I'm in. So I did the class, which was amazing. It was the Free Library and the Corso Center, which is through the University of the Arts. And I did my presentation at the end of those 3 weeks or so. And I got a grant for $500. And I said, okay, I'm going to get my LLC and I'm going to start getting everything, all the paperwork I needed to become a member at the Enterprise Center's commercial kitchen so that this would be legit.
And can you tell us more about, for anyone who doesn't know about the commercial kitchen, what was your experience with that? Tell us more about what it was like to be a member there.
Awesome. So if you are a food entrepreneur in Philadelphia, you need to do it right, and therefore you need a commercial kitchen. And the Enterprise Center's commercial kitchen is at 48th and Spruce. It's a great resource. It's a beautiful kitchen. There's 2 baking kitchens, 2 regular cooking kitchens, and then some packing stations, and a nice demo area. Anybody I bring there is in love with it. I'm in love with it. The staff is great, but it's a great resource for really figuring out the right way to do things and to talk to other entrepreneurs who are in the same struggle or on the same path that I'm on. And so I'm in there not as much as I need to be, but quite often. And everyone's friendly, and I've gotten a lot of opportunities to vend different places, learned about new opportunities for business through the Enterprise Center. It's been great.
And can you talk about the formality of starting your business? So you talked about getting your LLC, but what other documents did you have to get to do work in the city as a food business?
So I was all, you know what, I'm going to research everything online. And then it got confusing so quickly. I was just like, do I need this? Do I not need this? If you're in Philadelphia, it's different than if you're in a suburb or you're in New Jersey or Delaware. And so there were a lot of small things I wasn't sure about. So when I went to the Enterprise Center, they said, we need these things. We need you to have insurance. We need you to have a wholesaler's license. So if the food inspection people are going to come out, and a couple other things. So they told me exactly what I needed to start. And so I said, yes, this is a checklist. I can follow a checklist. And they gave me resources to get to that point.
Great. And have you had any issues with regulatory issues, I guess, with being a food business?
No. Knock on something.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord, that nothing has come up. But it's great to know that I'm like covered and I have the basics down. Yeah.
Great. And then how else have you been involved with the Enterprise Center outside of the culinary kitchen?
Yeah. So, thank you for asking. Actually, this time last year, I was a member of Elevate. So I had actually been like just bugging, just showing up at the Enterprise Center for a while before that, kind of figuring out, what do I need to do? I have a product. What do I do next? And they're like, we have classes, we have workshops. This is great. So I got to know a lot of the people at the Enterprise Center, and they were looking out for me. And they had a program, Elevate, and it was supposed to help food or any entrepreneurs get their business to the next level. And actually, when I joined, they had revamped the program a little bit so that I could join. And so joining that program, we met a couple times a month. There were homework assignments, there were mentors, coaches that I still meet with today, and a couple friends that own different businesses that I've made that have been really great in just supporting and encouraging me through this terrain.
Great. And then what has been the most difficult part so far for you with doing your business? What's a challenge area for you?
Challenge. A challenge has been marketing, figuring out exactly where I belong in the market. I believe my product is innovative, and because it's great that it's innovative, I'm super excited. People get excited when they learn about it and want to try it, but there's no manual to I don't want to make anybody else's business sound easy, but if I'm opening up a restaurant, there's certain steps that you do to open up a restaurant. If I'm opening up a pet shop, there's certain things that you do. But with this product, there's so many different ways I can go. I can try to sell on college campuses to college students. I can try to do vending machines. I can do vending events. I can open up a store. I can do cake decorating parties. I can do a lot of different things. And figuring out where my energy belongs has been a little difficult.
So what channels have you been leaning towards?
So I've been leaning towards vending events. I was in a farmer's market full time last year, so that was good. It was good exposure. I of course have an online site, 90secondcake.com, and but this year I'm leaning towards school fundraisers because I believe this is a good product for children to sell or groups to sell to raise money for their activities. And I'm also looking to do more cake decorating parties because that's been good for me.
Great. And is the cake decorating party similar to like a paint night or something like that we've seen before?
Exactly. So these were the ones I've done so far have been geared towards children, but I need to expand. Adults like to decorate things also. And so when you see all those fancy cakes in the bakery and online, they have the pastry bags and the tips. I love doing all that stuff. So why not come and decorate a 90-second cake? Fancy.
Great. So, and you said marketing has been a challenge for you. I guess what have you been doing so far outside of the events and looking to do fundraisers? What are you doing now for marketing? You have the website.
So I have the website. I have social media. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm trying to build up my Pinterest. And then I've done a couple AdWords, like Google AdWords, and a couple Facebook ads. They've been hit or miss. So
Which ones have been the most successful, you would say?
In terms of awareness, they've all been great. In terms of sales, I guess I'm leaning towards Instagram and really trying to push Pinterest more. The paid advertising has not worked for me. It's brought traffic to the website, but not a conversion quite yet. And paid advertising, I feel like it's a black hole. You can just keep on throwing money in. And so I've been using my resources to look at non-online things also. So I've been doing more flyers, and I'm about to do some mailings.
Oh, okay. So more traditional marketing.
Exactly,
So I'm curious about that because you hear more so about social media, but what are you going to do with the flyers and who are you targeting for the mailers?
So the flyers, I've been going to, Please Touch Museum, to Michael's, because I love Michael's and I feel like a lot of parents hang out around Michael's and just tagging cars around there. So I'm doing that for museums. For mailings, I'm looking, because I'm working on the fundraising part, I'm going to be mailing a lot of daycares and schools and then following up with visits. So it's a double whammy.
Okay, so the mailers are going to be more so for the fundraising component.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that idea. So you're planning for this fall, to do those, or spring?
For spring school fundraisers, and then definitely for fall. And then I know groups, camps, I don't know. We'll look into it for the summer and see what that looks like.
Great. So can you tell me more about the process of designing your product? So you mentioned how you came up with the product because you were doing designs, but tell me more about the process of packaging and how did you design your beautiful label here?
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah. So I had a recipe. I had a recipe for the cake. I had a recipe for the icing, and that was what I had. And I was just like, okay, I'm not a huge company. I don't have thousands of dollars to put towards paying someone to design packaging, so I'm going to do it myself. And I told you I went to Kappa for visual arts, and there's a lot of great resources. Canva being one of them. It was a great resource to help me.
Can you explain Canva?
Canva.com. They're free, and it's a marketing platform, and you're able to create flyers, business cards, and custom templates is what I use to create the packaging for KakeMi. KakeMi. I got pictures, or I took pictures on my iPhone, Team iPhone, for right now. And then I made my logo myself. And then I just played around with placement, got feedback from people. I don't believe this is probably the final packaging for forever, but I like the packaging. I get positive responses from the packaging. In the beginning, I was printing it at Campus Copy over in University City, but now I found an online site that prints it much cheaper, so better for the bottom line. I believe that answers your question.
Yes. I did have another question about the cup that it's in. So you said it's compostable?
It's compostable. So it was funny. The size of the KakeMi is actually because I was looking for a container to sell the product in, to put the cake in, and I played around with a plastic cup. I got feedback, we don't want plastic leaching into our product. I was like, but it's BPA free. And they were like, no plastic. And then people were like, mason jars. But that's glass and it's heavy. And when you microwave a mason jar, it gets really hot. So if this is supposed to be a friendly product for children, I don't need them burning themselves. So I went on Amazon and searched, and I found this compostable cup made of like bamboo. It works well for right now.
Great. And then how did you determine what flavors you would start with, and what flavors do you have now?
Awesome. So I actually started with chocolate and vanilla, and then I was just like, I can do other flavors. So I had a spice cake, a mocha, and a lemon. Lemon because of my sister, because she likes lemon cake. And I have a score mentor also, and she suggested that I pare down my flavors so that I could scale up on inventory. So she said just do chocolate and vanilla. But people like variety, so I said I'll do chocolate, vanilla, and lemon. So those are my 3 full-time flavors, and then I have seasonal flavors such as the spice, which comes out in fall, and then red velvet, which I'm still trying to figure out when that comes out.
Is it for Valentine's Day?
That's what I'm thinking. It might be for Valentine's Day.
Okay, I'm excited for that. That's a new one. So you'll have cream cheese frosting maybe with that one?
A little special frosting.
Okay. Looking forward to it. And then how do you get inspiration for your designs, for your flavorings? Where does that come from normally?
A lot of it is just, myself, what I like. And but more recently I've been getting more feedback. I've been getting more feedback from just customers. When I'm doing vending events, I really get to see people's reactions. It's just like, you like this? Oh, you don't like this? Why? And then I do want to keep my product being professional, so I try to compare it to other products on the market to see, does this really look like what I want it to look like and where I want it to be.
And how did you determine pricing? And then another question I have is around shipment and that whole process. So whichever one you want to tackle first.
Definitely. So pricing, because I created everything, because I bought everything, I kind of knew what was going into the product. Except for all those overhead expenses that when you're running a business that you sometimes don't think about, the storage, the kitchen rental, the gas to drive from this place to that place. So my pricing in the beginning was a little lower than it needed to be. But with help from Anthony at the Enterprise Center and some other coaches, I was able to get my pricing more on point to where it needs to be. So right now, my product is priced at $6. Is a discount for buying more. I believe with economies of scale, I'll be able to get that price down, but I'm a small business right now, so that is the price. In terms of packaging or in terms of shipping costs,
or just what do you use for shipping? Are you still doing the shipping yourself?
So I still am doing the shipping myself. I use a website, GoShippo, so it's so I don't have to go to the post office to have them weigh every single thing. Like I can weigh it at home. I can print out the label at home. And I normally deliver it to the post office myself. But as orders increase, I'll just have them pick it up. But I like United States Postal.
Great. So just had a question on being a busy business owner and entrepreneur. How do you balance the business and also having a personal life and self-care and just keeping yourself together? Do you have any tricks or tips for that? Or
I've gotten better. So February will be 2 years of having the LLC. So if I look at my first year, I was really stressed. I my expectations for the business for myself were, in hindsight, unrealistic, and therefore I put a lot of unnecessary pressure on myself. Last year, 2017, was a lot better. I asked for help more from friends and family. I decided, you know what, I'm going to take that day of rest and not work 7 days straight. And I'm going to aim to work smarter, and that's so much harder, like hard and smart, but just like not run around in circles. So tips for me, just sharing where I'm at and the emotions with people who I know care about me so that I'm not carrying the weight by myself has been very helpful. Prayer, always good.
Good. And is it just you? Have you brought on any help or any part-time employees, interns? Has it just been you this whole time?
So I did. I had interns over the summer. They were great. Shout out to Mecca and Marjay. And they were able to help me with social media and things. But right now, for the majority of the time, it's just me. I'm still really working on figuring out that marketing piece. And once I'm able to figure out where the product belongs, then I believe I have my processes set up to bring on the right people. But right now, it's just me.
Great. Are you looking for interns?
Always, I guess.
Okay. Well, we'll put it out there if anyone's interested in interning. All right. And then where do you see the future of your business long term? So maybe in the next 10 years?
10 years. Oh, that's a
long-term.
great question. Long term. So I know that right now I told you about the 3 flavors, sometimes 4 or 5 flavors that KakeMi has. I want to extend to some more flavors, but I also want to do a vegan line and a gluten-free line because I get that from a lot of people, and it's a real health concern, so why not give the people what they want? So I want that. I'm still unsure, but long term in the 10 to 15 year range, I see myself being acquired by a bigger company that does sweets. So that would be awesome. So let's put it out there.
Great. And then what would you say your biggest accomplishment to date has been so far with this business?
Biggest accomplishment? Okay. I'm just so excited to still be in business, to still be pushing forward. That's been huge, and just in terms of, seeing friends that have started things and not really followed through. So still being here is good. Also, in July of this year, I had a successful Kickstarter. So I raised a little over $10,000 for KakeMi. So that was really exciting and encouraging for the business. So yeah, those have been big.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
And where can people find you online or at any upcoming events that you're at?
Awesome. So my website is www.90secondcake.com. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at KakeMi Cakes. So that's CakeMikes. And then if you go online and sign up for the newsletter, you'll know about upcoming events because I send out a monthly newsletter just to keep you up to date for what's going on with KakeMi.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us for Feed the Beast.
Thank you, Chelsey. It's been great.
Thanks.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ryan Martin, the production consultant for The Grit Live. If you enjoyed this episode of Feed the Beast, please share it with the world. Join us Thursday, May 3rd at Eats for Equity, a special fundraiser showcasing the Center for Culinary Enterprises and some of the businesses that you've heard on the Grit Live's programming. For more details, visit e4e2018.eventbrite.com. That's e2018.eventbrite.com. If you have any feedback or would like to be featured on this program, please email us at thegritlive@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.